What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links leak video, and for once I'm actually gonna edit today's leak video. Let's get this bread. Anyways, though, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about multiple things. The first thing I'm going to be talking about in today's video is 3 cards that I didn't talk about in the previous data mine video. There's just 3 cards that are going to be into Duel Links, but there's no confirmed date for it. And then afterwards, we're going to get into the real bulk of today's video, and I'm going to be talking about all the news and information that I know so far when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Turbo Dueling in the game, which is really sick, and I'm really happy to talk about it. So if you guys are excited for today's leak video, be sure to go hit that like button down below to show your support. But of course, you can wait to like the video until you watch the full thing. And also, if you want to skip to the Turbo Dueling right away and don't care about the new cards, I'll post timestamps in the description and the comment section down below. Without further ado, though, let's get into today's Duel Links leaks. So the first card we're going to be talking about in today's video is Mach Synchron. And fun fact about this card was actually never printed into the TCG or OCG. This was an anime exclusive card from the show, and it was also in Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force 6. So technically not anime exclusive, but the Tag Force 6 games pay a huge tribute to the anime. So there you go right there. But still, Mach Synchron was a card that was never introduced into the TCG and stuff like that. And this was actually a similar case to a previous card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, like Ojama Dala or something like that. There was another card that was from the anime originally, and it was ported into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So Mach Synchron is one of these cards that got leaked into the game, and we're probably going to get this card soon. Anyways, so this is a level 1 machine tuner. During the end phase of this card was in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn after being used as a synchro material for a synchro summon. You can target one other synchro material monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. This card has an attack and defense of 0. So there's nothing too crazy about this card. It's just a level 1 machine tuner card, which is pretty cool. I do really like the fact, though, that you can recycle some of your resources that you literally just used in order to go for the synchro summon. Sadly, it only happens during the end phase, but I think it's still a pretty neat thing right there. So yeah, you can combo your level 1, maybe plus level 4 monster, synchro summon into like Armades or something like that, and then add back the level 4 monster into your hand once you're done. Maybe I could tech this in the Gemini deck if we ever get this in Duel Links, because my Gemini deck runs a lot of Armades. So that's a little fun idea right there. Always thinking about these, you know, Geminis. And yeah, this card, when it comes to leaks, is actually going to be a UR card. I got this information from Duel Links Meta, so that's another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, Mach Synchron is going to be a UR card. The next card we're going to be talking about is this rare card called Force Resonator, which is a 2-star Water Fiend tuner effect. You can set this face-up card you control to the graveyard and target one card you control. If it attacks this turn, your opponent can activate cards or effects that target monsters at the end of the damage step. This card has 500 attack and 500 defense. So that's kind of an interesting card. So this is a multi-purpose card. One, you can use it for a tuner for a synchro summon, or you can send it face-up and then you send this face-up card you control to the graveyard, target a face-up monster you control, and if it attacks the turn, it can't get targeted by effects, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Still, the monster could get targeted, or not targeted, but the monster could still be affected by cards like Wall Disruption, to keep that in mind. But for what it's worth, it's a neat little card. Not the worst rare card in the world, that's for sure, but you know, nothing too crazy right there. And another thing to keep in mind too about this Force Resonator card and Mach Synchron is that possibly these 2 cards might be into the next Turbo Duel event that we're going to be getting. So maybe we'll get these cards in like a future event for the Turbo Duel stuff, or we're actually going to get these very soon. So I got a couple theories about the Turbo Dueling stuff that I'll talk about later in today's video, but I feel like Mach Synchron and Force Resonator and everything like that are most likely going to be in some sort of event related to Yusei and Jack. Last card we're going to be talking about is kind of an oddball out of them all, and it's Green Turtle Summoner. This was an SR card from the list, and this might be like a rank PP reward in the future or a card trader card. I don't really know, but Green Turtle Summoner is a 3-star water spellcaster flip effect. Flip, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and this card has 400 attack and 1500 defense. So nothing too crazy right here. We also have a lot of cards in Duel Links that kind of does the same thing as this card, like Man-Eater Bug and stuff like that. But for what it's worth, for any of those players that loves to play these kind of stall meme decks, you can combo it with those. So you can throw it in your Snowman or Man-Eater Bug deck. Green Turtle Summoner is here to go, and which is pretty cool about this card is that it actually is related to Blue Dragon Summoner in some way. When I was looking up this card for the artwork of it, I noticed Blue Dragon Summoner was also in the Google images, which are pretty cool. So it's cool that we're getting more of these Summoner cards from this little archetype and everything like that. That's going to be it, though, for when it comes to the 3 new cards. It was literally just that. Now let's go move on to the Turbo Dueling information. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's video when it comes to the Turbo Dueling stuff, a little bit of context when it comes to this. So part of my theories on if this Turbo Duel event stuff is going to actually be happening in the current Jack Atlas event is basically this. So I got all this screenshots I'm going to be talking about from this Google Drive from Dragon, from Guns Blazing Discord, and when we go to the shared with me resources and event part of this, we have 3 events right here. So we have the event 45, and this one has just some random stuff in it. It doesn't really matter about that. But when we get to this event right here, event 56, we have images, and we actually have a ton of images compiled together, and they are very similar to each each other. So we have the Jack Atlas Rising, Return of Jack Atlas stuff right here, and then if we scroll down through the exact same event thing that we have right here, we have a ton of, you know, turbo dueling stuff related to it. So kind of my theory about this turbo dueling event is basically this event is going to be happening on the current Atlas Rising Return of Jack Atlas event that we're getting in Duel Links right now. Or maybe when this event comes back, because, you know, Duel Links likes to rehash their events, maybe when it comes back, then we'll get this turbo dueling stuff and get everything sorted out. But my bets are going to be going for that we're actually going to be getting this turbo duel information, like, very soon, and we're going to be able to play turbo duels in this very soon, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So just a little fun fact about this, the turbo dueling stuff is literally in the exact same event file as the current event that we have in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and there's that right there. And I guess if you guys want to take a sneak peek at the next event, 59, this is the bingo mission stuff, so nothing too crazy right there, but just to keep that in mind, 56, event 56, as both the Jack Atlas event that we have right now in Duel Links and turbo duel and stuff that I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So let's get back to it. Now we're finally getting to the turbo duel stuff in today's video, and as you guys can see, I have 3 screenshots right here on some of the event stuff for this turbo duel stuff. So as you guys can see on the top, we have Jack Atlas next to his dual runner, his Atlas dual runner, looking pretty nice. Next up in the second little clip right there, we have Jack Atlas getting ready for a fight in front of the duel arena, you know, probably showcasing to us that possibly we can do turbo duelings at the actual duel arena. That'd be really sick. And then the last one we have right here is a little icon of Jack Atlas's dual runner that we can click on, probably to initiate us going into the turbo duel. And as you guys can see, it's Yusei versus Jack. A couple things I am curious on how they're going to lay this out, though. Worst case scenario, what they're probably going to do, and I can see Konami doing, is that hopefully I really hope they don't do this, but one thought is that maybe, basically, as you guys can see, there's that little like thing on the bottom like left of the screen, and that's the icon. Hopefully that's not just a random appearing thing and that we can just keep battling it as much as we want, possibly, but I'm afraid that's going to be kind of working like a roaming duelist event, where basically you can only turbo duel at random intervals of the game, and that icon will keep appearing if you duel enough, because you know how all the other roaming duelist events works, you basically keep dueling other people, then eventually the special character will pop up. Hopefully they don't do that with turbo dueling, and hopefully they do a fully fledged thing with turbo dueling, but that's kind of what I'm afraid of. And there's that right there. Another thing I'm curious on too is that I'm curious if you only can use Yusei in order to turbo duel, because as you guys can see, it's Yusei versus Jack Atlas right there, which does make a lot of sense, but hopefully we can use all sorts of characters. It'd be so cool to do a turbo duel with, I don't know, Yugi in the game, but most likely it's only going to be Jack versus Yusei. Next up, we have some more screenshots when it comes to the turbo duel, and as you guys can see, we have on the top thing right here, we have a little animation of a Jack Atlas riding into the turbo duel thing. Second screenshot we have is the speed counters going 1, 2, and 3, showcasing us kind of how turbo dueling works. And if you guys don't know how turbo dueling works, basically what happens is that every single spell card in Duel Links will turn into a speed spell card, or like basically like the only spells you can use is speed spell cards. I don't know how they're going to implement it in Duel Links, but my guess is that maybe they would change all the spells into speed spells, or we only have a certain amount of speed spells that we can use. But basically all spells you can use in turbo dueling is speed spells, and that's it. And the way to activate speed spells is if you have to use speed counters, and you get a speed counter per player's turn, which basically is turn 1, you both players get a speed counter, turn 2, you get a speed counter, etc., etc. And the only way to activate those speed spells, like I said, you have to use the speed counters. And another thing that's really cool about turbo dueling is that the field is replaced with Speed World 2. Speed World 2 basically allows us to basically what it allows us to do is that we have a ton of different options of effects that we can use depending on the speed counters, which we'll talk about a little bit later, because I actually have some gameplay on speed spell acceleration. As you guys can see on the bottom panel right here, we have speed spell acceleration, which is really cool right there. Now let's go to the clip where I can show you guys basically the gameplay on speed spell acceleration, and then I'll go in depth talking about each individual thing about speed spell acceleration. Okay, so a little bit in depth about speed spell acceleration. I know from that video clip it pretty much explained everything, but as you guys can see, I have the exact text right here from Duel Links Meta's website on speed spell acceleration. This speed spell acceleration skill is actually leaked a long time ago. I just forgot to talk about it in one of my previous leak videos, so it's pretty convenient that I can talk about it right now. Anyways, though, with speed spell acceleration, it can be used by removing speed counters. Effects may vary depending on how many speed counters you remove. If you remove 4 speed counters, all monsters you gain, you control gain 200 attack until the end of the turn. turn. That's pretty cool. If you remove 6 speed spell counters, you can select one level 4 or lower monster in your hand that could be normal summon. That's pretty cool. And then if you do and play the selected monster, oh, you just get to play it. I'm gonna guess it counts as a special summon. If it does, that's really cool. And if you remove 8 speed spell counters, you can draw a card. And if you remove 10 speed spell counters, you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. So that's actually pretty cool right there. I'm actually pretty happy that they are doing this for turbo dueling. A couple things to keep in mind though is that some of these are actually new. So I played the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's 2009 through 2011 games, and basically the 2011 version of the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's World Championship 2011 over the Nexus, that's what it was called. They did actually have Speed World 2 in that, and in Speed World 2, how that worked in that game when there was 8,000 life points is that one, if you removed 4 speed spell counters, you would inflict 800 life points of damage to your opponent. If you remove 7 speed spell counters, you would be able to draw a card, and if you remove 10 speed spell counters in that game, you would be able to destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Of course, though, Duel Links is doing it a lot different. They're actually adding 2 brand new effects, and they are kind of nerfing the draw a card effect, where you have to wait until you have 8 speed spell counters this time in order to draw a card. But the remove 10 one is still the exact same, which is pretty cool right there. So yeah, well, that's gonna do it today for today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links data mine video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's data mine video, and if you guys did, as always, be sure to go hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links content. If you haven't already, be sure to go join my Discord, link in the description down below. And last but not least, if you want to support me as a content creator, you can do so by joining as a YouTube member. $5 a month that gets to support me as a content creator, but of course you don't have to. Other than that though, thank you guys for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.